Good morning, everybody, especially to my bedheads. Click. How's it going today? Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. So there's just so much to talk about. I was thinking back to like when I first started doing Coffee with Karen, like 3 months ago. Everything was so topic specific. But now it's really interesting to me because now it's like there's so many things. It's like I don't even know like where to start, or even what to cover. And I just reminded myself what one of my intentions was for the year. So in my bullet journal, I have my 2025 intentions. And I used oracle cards. Some of you know this, but for those who are new here, I used oracle cards this year to help me with my intentions. Okay. What that means is I chose a deck to use, and then I asked my guides to tell me which, cards they wanted me to read on. And then as I read, what the card was and what the message was, I put down specific things in my bullet journal, basically. Because sometimes you get a whole paragraph, right? You get a little booklet, and so then you choose, like, well, what feels right to me? So the one of them was practice good judgment, okay? And another one was tend to your village. So this is our village, not my village, but our village here, right? So I'm just facilitating it. But tend to it. And then the one right after it was tend to your village, and then right after it was practice good judgment. So I'm always trying to remind myself, because Karen, the human being, with a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings and very opinionated, I'm an Aries and kind of like, go forward and it's a ram, right? And so anyway, with all of the stuff going on, it's like, how do I pick and choose how I want to tend to this village and what are the things that I want to talk about? So I did just ask my guides to just kind of speak through me because I just want to make sure that I'm practicing good judgment. And, I get it. Like some people will listen to things I say and be like, that was not practicing good judgment according to them. And I totally get that because we all have different values, right? And we all have different ways of saying things. So, but just know that that's my intention. So, yeah, I got a lot of things to talk about today. Just a few things on the world stage that I'm becoming more and more aware of. I think I'm going to use this in the subject line. So just like the subject line, we the people versus the billionaires, it is becoming more and more apparent, as I'm sure it has for you, that this is not about us. Okay. This is about how the billionaires have turned us against each other. Right. And the only reason I'm saying that this is becoming clearer and clearer to me is I just saw a short from a representative in the House in Texas. And he was talking about, the short was basically like, there's 2 billionaires in Texas who are Christian nationalists, who he said in the short, he was standing on a podium. And he said they've already bought the governor, they bought the lieutenant governor, they bought the Senate, and now they're about trying to buy the House and a couple other things. So it's these 2 guys, and they're, of course, oil, who have basically bought the entire state and who are determining what's happening. Well, it's really clear also with the tech bros at the national level, right? So we the people versus the billionaires. And it really is versus. It really is. So I think the more and more we can come together as the people, we the people. And, like 3 days ago, I had put Dems for, like, I've had a video, Dems for democracy, or Dems for Dems resistance. That was my one. And we're having a conversation about it. Like, is resistance the right word? No, we don't really, like we've talked about not using fighting words when you're trying to solve an issue. You don't want to use fighting words because then what you get is a fight. Okay. So, because again, it's the law of attraction. So if you're new here, hi. I will post my playlist here so that you can see, like, it's a start here playlist. Ask the spirit guides, card readings, so you can get a sense of what this channel is about. But in Coffee with Karen, I really kind of talk about stuff that's I'm aware of and just have conversation about what's going on in the world, but then bring it to more of a spiritual place. Okay. So anyways, I think the more we can, okay, so I was saying is my titles have really shifted, right? It's, as I'm learning, just along with the village here, with the community, I kind of like the word village. It's kind of cool. I pretend not to. I am not like the person who knows things. I am just facilitating this conversation, I mean, I know some things. I'm 55 years old. I've got some experience. But I think many of people in the community are above the 50s. And I think those of you who are, even in their 40s, whatever, at some point in life, you learn that you really don't know anything, right? Have you learned that? That things are never black and white. When we're younger, I worked in higher ed. Many of you know I've worked in higher ed for 30 years. And the age I typically worked with was freshmen, so 18 years old. So freshman to sophomore year is really the population I always worked with. I just really enjoyed that population, even though I was in many different jobs in higher ed. Hall director, academic advising, career counseling, all different kind of things. And so at that age, life is pretty black and white. They do see things very black and white. And actually, there's times where I kind of envy that. Because as we get older, the more experiences we have, we realize, at least I have, you tell me how you think. So I don't want to assume that everybody sees it this way, obviously. But I feel like the older I get, the less clear I am. Okay. Now there are some things that are black and white for me. And I think many people in the community in our village would agree, because we've had conversations about this in terms of like tolerance for things, tolerance for racism and bigotry and, inequality. And, so yes, there are black and white values that I get, right? But how people still within that area, I mean, everything is just so gray. Like everything is so gray, and everybody's experiences are so different that it's hard to put everything kind of in one category or another. Even those who we would consider, I don't know, totally opposite of us, let's just say in political views, if you really sat down and talked to people, are they totally opposite of us in political views, So there's just so much gray. Anyways, but it's becoming clearer and clearer that we, the people, have quite an issue. We have an issue on our hands. And I think the billionaires are going to find out that, and I'm talking worldwide. This is not just in the US, guys and girls and everybody, theys. It's just not. It's not just in the US. This is worldwide. And we the people, there's so many more than us, and I don't care how much money they have to protect themselves. I don't think it's going to make a difference to them, because the people who are protecting them are part of we the people. So, yeah, and I don't mean like threatening. I'm just saying like it's. I actually heard a spiritual person say last year, which I thought was really fascinating, that the billionaire class is going to decline. Like that was part, or maybe that was part of astrology or something. I heard somebody say that last year. And then soon after I heard them say that, there were a few billionaires that were killed. One was down that submarine that went down, that submarine that they had tried to go down to the Titanic, I believe. And then there was another billionaire who was killed after some kind of court case, and like his lawyer was on his yacht, and like his yacht just went down. Like, what? I mean, did anybody ever find out what happened there? I mean, so, and then there was, oh, well, we have Luigi, who has taken out he wasn't really a billionaire, but, well, allegedly, because he hasn't been tried, but the healthcare issue, but I think there's more, but I can't think of them. But anyways, I just find this really interesting that the more we recognize this, the more we need to come together as we the people. And that includes the MAGAs. Okay? And I know some people call them MAGAs. I'm not calling them MAGAs. It just doesn't make sense to me. MAGA. I don't know. I hear a lot of different people say MAGA or MAGA. So I think this is a good sign. I think it's a really good sign. I can see how this is moving us to the fifth dimension, because the separation between the people, we are going to find out that we don't need to be separate. And this is like, we're in crisis mode that's causing this, for us to see that we don't need to be separate. So I don't know. Let me know about what you guys think about this, whether, we the people versus the billionaires. And I think we're just going to take it one day at a time, and we're going to solve it. We are going to solve it in peace. I do have a message for you. I will ask the dowsing rods. I did a message for us today on here. I kind of changed it. Oh no, I kind of changed it. My letters yesterday were way down here. So I changed. I'm like, they don't need to swing that far to tell me. But so I did, the pendulum, and they gave me a message. Like, they gave me 2 words, and I am going to ask the dowsing rods. I'll share it in a little bit, but because I don't want it to be fear mongering, but they do have a message. So, because I think what's going on when I take a look at the big picture, okay, from my own, trust me, my perspective, because I'm only seeing a very small slice of things, right? That's all of us only see a slice. That's why community and having a village like this is so important, so we can help each other see the other slices. And that's why I really like you guys leaving your perspectives, because I'm talking about this little slice of mine. That song. That's not really the song, but this little light of mine, this little slice of mine. You guys each share your little slice, and then we come together, right? And get new perspectives. So, God, every time I go off and say I completely forget what I was going to say. I don't even remember. Oh, so yeah. So from when I take a look out here from my little slice of what I can see, then I think what's happening is that anytime there's pushback against the oligarchs, okay, the billionaires, the ones, not all of them, but the ones that are playing games with us, then there's going to be some, let's just say, retaliation. I don't have a better word for it. And I think that's what's been happening. In fact, I appreciated Dana from Magic Somatic Money. There's a couple people I kind of follow right now. As we've talked about in the past, who we follow shifts, But right now I'm really tuned in with Dana anytime from now on, anytime I talk about different channels, I will post them in the description. Okay, so you don't have to be wondering who they are. So she basically confirmed what I'm aware of and what I've been asking my SGs, that, because I think I asked at some point when I was doing a session, Ask the Spirit Guides, whether or not that helicopter running into the plane in DC was an accident. They said no. Whether the Philadelphia one was an accident, they said no. Excuse me, will we ever find out? Probably not. But there's these sort of retaliating. There was now apparently, and actually Dana said this, I didn't realize. I went on and looked, and apparently this happened. I didn't realize that a train, and I think it was Philadelphia. Was it in Philadelphia? So a train in Philadelphia caught fire. There was 300, I think everybody was fine, but there was 350 people on the train. Was it in Philadelphia? There was that flight in, oh, it's Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania. I don't know what part of Pennsylvania. Amtrak service impacted. Yeah, it was Philadelphia to Delaware. Philadelphia to Delaware. So look at that. Right? And then there was this commuter flight in Alaska, 10 people. So, and Dana had said that those all kind of happened at the time, her connection and what her guides are telling her, that kind of happened at the time when the courts told Musk that he couldn't do what he was doing with the data. So there's this sort of balance right now of trying to get control. And then when they don't get the control they want, there's some retaliation, right? And Dana's very clear message, if you watch her video from last night, again, I'll post it in the description, is to pay very close attention to your surroundings and over the next 10 days, okay? And Dana even said it. She said, you know what? If nothing happens, I will not feel bad because at least I wanted, she said, if something happened and I didn't at least warn people, then, you know, and I think that's where I'm at this point too, because it brings me to the message that my SGs shared using this. And when they do this, I just did this the other day. This is the second time. When they actually spell out a word, then there's no mistaking that. I mean, they literally spelled them out for me. So I had asked using this little tiny old copper pendulum that I have, nothing fancy. It just came with my dowsing rods. And I had asked them, I said this morning, do you have a message for the village? I want to call us the village. Do you have a message for the community? And so they gave me the message. Okay. So let me just double check with them. I can ask some yes or no questions with these. So I've already said the prayer for this morning. So you guys, yes, hello. The message you gave me this morning using the pendulum, is that a wise, am I using good judgment by sharing that message? Yes. Okay. Is there any reason why I shouldn't share that message today? No. Okay. All right. So I just want, again, I'm just trying to practice good judgment. And I know I'm probably freaking you out. You're like, what? Well, so it just basically the message was, and actually I tried to get one last night. You guys can help me decode this if you want, but so the message was ready, protect yourself. And I wrote it right there. That's what they spelled out for me. Ready, protect yourself. Okay. So it's just a good time to be very, very aware of your surroundings. If you can avoid large groups, And Dana did say specifically over the next 10 days. So again, I hope nothing happens. That would be superb. That would be amazing. And if people came back and wanted to unsubscribe from me because I told my SG said, ready, protect yourselves, and then there was nothing they had to protect themselves from, that's fine. People are really interesting. And I'm, as we're learning as a community here, people are, so I'm trying not to be like, this is going to happen. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. So do not say that I said that. Okay. I am just giving you what I have gotten. Okay. And you totally take it how you feel comfortable. Okay. And what I really love is there's so many people who are also using dowsing rods and having a clear communication with their spirit guides here in the community, and you're sharing it. Share what you're getting. Absolutely. Because then people will see it's a community-wide message. And share if you're getting opposite. Share if you're getting opposite. Okay? So what do we do with this information? Besides just physically protecting ourselves, financially protecting ourselves. Yesterday I talked about some of the things you could be doing is locking your credit report so nobody could access your credit report to open up new credit cards, just in case that information's been sold already, which is my understanding is it might have been. It's a speculation. Putting on that make sure you have that 2-factor authorization on any of your payment accounts, printing off your finances, your bank account, print them off so you have in the dates on there so they know exactly how much you had in your accounts in case somehow the accounts got cleared. I don't know. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm just, there's some practicalities we need to just be looking at right now because the billionaires have a lot of access to a lot of things, okay? And they want to keep us in line, all right? So, they can do a lot of things if they wanted to. And so the first thing is to just protect yourself physically and protect yourself financially. And maybe, everybody we've been talking about just having a few stock ups on things just in case, but not, going overboard. I'm not one of the, and people, it's fine if people want to do the huge preparation and have like 10 years worth of stuff in their pantry or whatever. That's not me. I'm more like a month's worth, So, and if anything happens and my neighbors don't have a couple days worth, then I will be sharing my month's worth with them, So, and again, not saying anything's going to happen. It's just the messages we're getting. So please, if you're getting other messages counter to what I'm saying or similar to what I'm saying, please put them in the comments so people can then use their discernment. We're all using our own discernment here to decide what's best for us and our families, okay, and our friends and our neighbors and everything, okay? So, because this isn't something I go knocking on my neighbor's doors, like, no, my neighbors don't know anything about any of the stuff that we talk about here. But at least I'm aware so that if something does happen, I might be able to offer to them like, okay, this is what we need to do just because I've been thinking about it, So I'm not, you know what I mean? Or I'm not even telling my family, except for the family that listen to this, It's not like I'm warning people, like even my friends. My friends have no idea what we're talking about here. But if something does happen, at least I could clue them in that I think this might be what's going on, So anyway, so that's the first thing. The second thing is to do what we're always talking about in this community is staying in the light, right? Is trying to make sure that we're not in fear of what might be coming, but staying as neutral as possible and staying, this is a time to really be taking care of yourself. It's just more than ever, this is the time to be taking care of yourself. More sleep, more exercise if that's what you need, more fresh, healthy foods, more crystals, more meditating, more prayer, more focus on positive things, more gratitude journals, more of that stuff. Okay? Really, really strong. All right? More asking for what you want. asking for what you want, okay? And it's really, somebody had said, I think I saw a comment, someone said, what kind, help me with a prayer, like what would be, so you guys could offer things that you ask for, okay, in the community. What I have learned and feel most comfortable with is stating, please, help us raise our light, help all of us stay in calm. And again, you don't want to use what you don't want. You want to say what you do want. So help us, get through this in a relaxed and calm manner. Help us all rise up in peace and have everything processed right now, what's meant to process and what's good for all. This way, the stuff that needs to happen. I don't want to get in the way of the stuff that needs to happen. Okay. And even if it's hard stuff, I don't want to get in the way of that. So, but I want to play my role in staying as calm and peaceful through it so that I can keep the vibration high. I think that's the ultimate goal here of things we've been talking about, is how do we keeping your vibration as high as possible is really the very, very, very best thing you can do for humanity. The more of us who keep our vibrations high and not sit in fear about things, the better we're doing for humanity, basically. So it's really not that complicated. But then asking for what we want, okay? And when you ask, just be careful to ask in the terms. So again, I brought up earlier, and I brought up yesterday, I think too, there's always been a fight on drugs, or a war on drugs, a war on cancer, a war on this, a war on that. Well, it's no wonder we haven't solved any of those things, because you can't solve something when there's just a constant war on it, right? Even me to say we the people versus the billionaires, right? That word versus. I just don't know of a better term right now. You can offer something that would make it very clear about what is actually potentially, allegedly, from my perspective, going on, okay? But that's just how, language, words matter, and it's a little tricky. Look what time it is. I got my shit shield. We got our first mugs yesterday, and this is on the mug, so in our shop. So I will use it the first day that we have the mug shop ready to go. There's like 3 things in there right now, but I'm waiting for the t-shirt to show up so I can see what it looks like, to make sure that, it's Ask the Spirit Guides approved. So, you don't want to sell something that's kind of feels junky, but okay. So, yeah, so hopefully that helps, but you guys can offer, other ways to ask for things that don't get in the way of the karma that people are clearing up right now, that spirits are clearing up. I think the best thing to remember, even the billionaires, is we're all spirits having a human experience, playing a role. We all have a costume on. We're all playing a role. Some were expected to do certain things on Earth, but maybe have taken it a bit too far. And that's why I do ask the spirit guides about President Musk, That's why I'm doing those things. That's why I did 3 parts on F45. I was going to say his name, but I don't want to. F45's soul contract, because it helps us to understand what's going on with them. Okay. And I know some people are like, I don't want to, you can't even think about them. But for me, it helps me to understand. And I think it's helped. The F45 ones, people were like, wow, that really helped me put it in perspective. If you're wondering, they're in I'll put it right here, the Ask the Spirit Guides playlist. Okay. You'll find that's when I use the dowsing rods, is in the Ask the Spirit Guides playlist. I'll list it right here at the end of this video. So yeah, so many things to think about. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful. Not fear-mongering, but helpful. Last night I did ask for a message. And I just said, what's going on with F45, And I got this. And I don't, death for DAF. And I'm like, death for EAF or DAF. So, and I looked up what it was. And there, it is I actually, this morning, they were trying to use an acronym again. Here, they were going to use another acronym. I'm like, no more acronyms. You got to ask them not to use acronyms. I'm like, no more acronyms, because acronyms are not helpful for me. So DAF is Donor Advised Fund. I mean, that doesn't mean that that's what they were saying, but a Donor Advised Fund, DAF, is a charitable giving account that allows donors to contribute money to charities. So I don't know. That's what that was. I got death for. When I first got death, I was like, okay, what does that mean? But then they just kept going. So it could be that I misinterpret. And then we started with another one, and this was going to be a message for you guys. I was doing it last night, and it said lay, and then RAL, and then I was getting tired. I'm like, okay, I'm tired. So this morning when I got up, I asked for no acronyms, and that's the one I got. So anywho, I did want to share real quick that, it's funny too, because do you guys know who Sterling is? If you don't know who Sterling is, I will post his, again, when I talk about people from now on, I'll put him in the description. Okay. Anyway, so Sterling, he's a psychic medium, and every Thursday, he takes questions from his community, and then on Sundays, he answers them. Okay. His wife goes through and she kind of this is the same thing my sister and Lab do for the channel here, is they take all your questions. My sister then deciphers them and puts them kind of in a nice order so that I can do the SGs. And so Sterling's wife does the same thing. I think they got like 700 questions last Thursday, and then he ended up answering 80 of them, because there are probably a lot of repeats, right? So that's exactly what happens here, is we get, people ask the same thing, which is fine, because nobody knows what people are asking. So anyways, last Thursday, I thought, okay, I am going to ask Sterling, which is really funny because I haven't even asked my own SGs, but I thought, it's nice to get a second opinion. And now I'll ask the SGs now, but I have a feeling they'll agree with him. But do you guys remember when I told you that my husband and I went for a walk? It was like a week or so ago. And I'm looking for the picture I wrote in my journal here. Oh, here. And we saw that really weird space. Okay, so we walked out. It was on there it was, January 28th at 8:50 p.m. Okay, so we had walked out. So I'm writing in my journal here, dreams and visions that I have. Okay, I really haven't had any since this one, actually. So I had like 3 in a row, and then I haven't had any. They kind of slowed down for me. So we walked out. I'll just explain it real quick for people who haven't heard the story. We walked out of our place. We were just going for a walk. It was at night. Right when we got outside, we looked up, and right above our tree line, it was really low, was a spacecraft. I mean, it was some kind of aircraft. I call it aircraft, but it didn't have wings, and it was square. It looked like that. I mean, I'm awful drawing, but the thing is that neither my husband and I really paid too much attention to this because of what was going on behind it. It was really what was going on behind it that really sparked our interest, literally sparks. He saw sparks coming out the corners. That's what he remembers seeing, like, because his first thought is, that thing going to blow up, But I didn't see that at all. Like, he saw just these sparks coming out of the corners. What I saw was this trail of gold. And I'm like, what? I mean, it was like a trail of gold just following it. And it was like strings of gold. But it was probably, some kind of like the sparks and whatever, But I'd never seen anything like it before. So anyways, and it, unfortunately, where we were standing, well, and the great news is while we were walking, our neighbors happened to be out on their balcony. And we were like, do you see that? And they're like, they hadn't even seen it. And they're like, what? what? I mean, it was like right in front of them too. And I think they were doing a little smoking. But I think that's what was going on. I'm not sure, but, so, and they saw it too. So they're like, what? But then it went over the tree line so fast and we didn't have like distance. So that was unfortunate. But then people in Chicago, in Wisconsin were reporting that they were seeing things that same night. And the news was saying it was either space junk or shooting stars. And some of the other people who caught some of the stuff on video was way up in the sky. And it did look like a shooting star, or it could have been, I guess some of the satellites, they will move like that and kind of dissolve after, I don't know, period of time. That's not what this was. That is not what that was. This thing was low and it was a aircraft. It was not a satellite. It was huge. So anyways, I thought, and it's funny, I honestly have not asked the SGs yet what it was. But so then on last Thursday, I decided I would pose the question to Sterling. So I just said, my husband and I went for a walk, blah, blah, blah. Okay, told him that whole story. And it's funny because somebody wrote a comment, Karen, did you leave a comment for Sterling? I was like, why? Yes, I did. And he said it was a UAP. Okay. So I'm not really 100% up to speed on the UAPs versus UFOs. I think they're really kind of the same thing. UAPs. Unidentified aerial phenomenon. But I'm assuming it is like, I think he did say, I have to go back and listen. If you listen at 31 minutes, if you want to, you don't have to, but I only know that because I sent it to my sister and Lob. And I was like, listen at 31 minutes about the UAP. And that was on Sterling's video from Sunday. Again, I'll post it here. So at 31 minutes about is when he starts answering my question. Okay. So let's ask the SGs. Because honestly, I have not asked them. I mean, I was way impressed with that. I feel like nobody has to tell me what it is. Because there's no way. It was not normal. It was not normal. And the best thing is that my thinker husband, he's a S and a T, sensor and a thinker, is not, I'm an N and an F, so intuitive feeler who would believe all this kind of stuff, and I'm open to all this kind of stuff. And he's like, you got to prove it. You got to prove it to me, man. He's got the scientist brain basically. And, which is fine. We need all kinds of thinking, right? But when he was like, are you kidding me? So the fact that he saw it too, I was like, yes, so he knows there's more going on. Okay, you guys. So what Jim and I saw on January 28th, 2025, when we went for a walk, was that a man-made spacecraft or aircraft? No. Okay. It was a UFO then, basically, a UAP? Yes. Okay. Did it disappear? Like, did we just happen to see it? Did they want us to see it? Oh, they did want us to see it. Okay. Are they protecting our skies, basically? Yes. Okay. And then after they went over our tree line, did other people see it? Oh, so other people saw it too. Okay. Yes. And did they disappear then? Or did they, like, the veil kind of went over them at some point? Yes. Okay, so are they just subtly, real subtle, right? Are they just trying to show themselves from time to time to get people more comfortable? Yes. Are they here to protect us? Yes. Oh, actually, Sterling, that's what Sterling said. He said it was Palladian. So what do you think about that? Let me ask. I think that's what he said. I'm just not up to speed on these terms. Let me get Palladian. Now, what was the thing that they said that President Musk was? Oh, reptilian. Okay, so those are different, Palladians. Was the aircraft that we saw, were those Palladians? Okay, yes. And that's different than reptilian? Yes. Okay. So Palladians are here to support humanity and Earth? Yes. Interesting. Okay. So fascinating, right? Oh my goodness. All right. So that was kind of fun to have confirmation on that. Because Sterling, he has like a team, there's like 1,000. I think he explains. I mean, he actually hears them. So he literally asks the question and they tell him. So that's pretty cool, right? All right, just a few more things and I'm going to draw. This is the deck that my SGs wanted me to draw from, the Rumi. So we're going to do a Rumi card today before we end. But I just wanted to continue encouraging everybody to work on the rise of their conscious anger when it comes up. There might be some of us today. I'm not feeling as angry today as I was a couple days ago. There might be some of you who are feeling a lot of anger today, and that's where we're supporting each other back and forth in the community, all right, in our village, that when you're feeling the rise of your conscious anger, that we're going to hold that for you. We're going to stand and, allow you to feel that until you come back to center. And then we know, each of us can know that when we are helping each other get to center, but allowing us to have that rise of conscious anger, because we're healing. It's rising, we're recognizing it to dissolve it, not to shove it back down. Okay, so count on this village here, other channels that are doing the same thing, not just this one, it's a whole community, okay, of us helping each other rise. Don't ignore the rise of your conscious anger right now. We're meant to be feeling it. We're meant to have it rise up so we can dissolve it permanently, okay? And boy, they're giving us lots of stuff to get that anger up, right? So, and I think what's going to happen, what I feel happening in myself, is the more the anger rises up and I allow it to, I feel it, I express it, I'm expressing it here on the days that I'm like, rawr, however you have to express it, you let it dissolve. And what happens is the more you do that, the more you stand in your power. And not power like, boom, boom power, but power as in like, you know what? I am not putting up with that. I tell you, if I ever see those, the Nazis with their flags and, I've seen them trying to intimidate different communities in Cincinnati. There was an incident recently. There's like 10 guys. I ever see that? Oh yeah. No, I will not be afraid to walk up to them. Or if I ever see, I think Kanye West is, you can tell have a little annoyance with him. He is selling the shirts with the symbol on it. Oh, real cool. That's real cool. I ever see that. Yeah, I'm standing in my power. I'm not going to be like, oh, and walk away, I'm not going to start a fight, but I'm certainly not going to have somebody think that's acceptable to have that where I'm walking around, and so it's just standing in our power. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. People think free speech. Oh, it's free speech. Yeah, go for it. Free speech has consequences, though. Free speech has consequences. So that's what people forget is, you can say and do, well, this thing should be illegal. That should be illegal. That's not, that will have to be, how many people were killed, and in the United States, not just worldwide, but in the my husband's dad, he fought in World War II. My grandfather fought in World War II. They would be, if they were humans right now watching this, what the, you know? These guys they're doing this for the rise of their own conscious anger, or mental illness. I think Kanye West, I'm not saying, I think it has been determined that he is bipolar, but, it's very public. So, but anyways, these, these 10 guys who stand on a bridge, well, first of all, why are they covering their faces? Why are they covering their faces? No. Pull it down. If you're going to stand there, you don't get to cover your face. And then they all, when people started coming to confront them, they all ran into a U-Haul. Okay. I mean, there's like 10 of them and covering their faces. No. You don't get to cover your face. Stand up if that's how you feel and show us who you are. Show us who you are. So anyways, this is us standing in our power, So I'm going to cut, clear, and cancel all that because frankly, I would rather not run into it. Cut, clear, cancel, knock on wood. Okay. Cut, clear, cancel, cut, clear, cancel. Anyways, I got off on that. So there, a little bit of my rise in conscious anger just bubbled up a little bit. It does, the other thing, Lee Harris energies for his February update. Again, I'll post it down below. Anytime I mention somebody from now on. He did the other energy. There was 8 of them, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8. I have them in my February energy that I'm tracking. The other one was what the F energy is happening on the planet. Yeah, that is a what the F moment for me. But to see what happened afterwards, how the community, the Black community next to it, first of all, they went to confront them in a very peaceful way, and then they ran. Then they had a vigil. They had a prayer on that same spot. They did like a peaceful gathering. And then the community also, because this community that this happened to in Cincinnati, you guys will have to watch if you want. You don't have to, but I mean, if you want to see it, you'd have to see it on YouTube, somebody reporting on it. But because I'm sure they didn't talk about it on Legacy Media. Absolutely. I'm sure they did not. Just like they didn't show F-45 getting booed the way he did, and boy, did he get booed. What? And a guy calling him a traitor, just screaming at him. And he's like waving at the crowd. Do you guys know he spent, allegedly, I heard this one person say it. I don't have proof, but he spent $15 million going to the Super Bowl and he didn't even stay through halftime. $15 million of our money. $15 million. Anyways, so yeah, that's a what the F energy is happening on the planet. That's a what the F for me right there, the rise of conscious anger. Okay, so the couple of things that I have written in mine. What have you guys written in? Are you doing? If you're doing this, what have you written down as like a message you might have gotten the last time you were feeling angry? That's why I'm doing this, so that the next time I feel angry, I can go through my messages, and it's very, very helpful. So the last 2 that I wrote was, and these came from cards, that with card drawings we did. Allow love to lead. Allow all to occur as needed. Now that's a perfect prayer right there. That's, someone who asks, like, what would be an appropriate prayer? Any message that you're getting on oracle cards, especially, could be a perfect prayer. That is a perfect prayer. Allow love to lead. Allow all to occur as needed. That's it. That's a perfect prayer. Because you're not getting in the way, but you're saying, please let love lead. Let love lead. Love and light lead. but allow all to occur as needed, because we need it to come out. We need it to come out. It's been simmering under the surface forever and ever and ever, and we need it to come out. It's coming out. This is why we're all having the what TF, WTF moments, right? And then the other message, the last message I just wrote down, was ask for peace and contentment. Peace and contentment. But I also do want to allow for things that need to occur, because I don't want the stuff shoved back again. I don't want it going under the rocks again. I want those guys with the flags to be showing their faces. Show your face so that we can help you understand why you're doing that. Why are you doing that? What pain are you going through that you feel like you have to do that? Because obviously they were raised in a certain way. They were probably bullied, is my guess. They're trying to rise up in their own power, and this is the only way they have found to do that. I'm speculating, but that's my sense, okay? It doesn't make it right, but we need to help them find a way to to dissolve their conscious anger in a more peaceful and content way. But we can't do that if we keep trying to shove all them down, right? So they're angry for a reason, It's complicated. It's not black and white, is it? So anyways, okay. Let's do one card. Sorry, my coffee with Karens I guess I shouldn't apologize, but you guys will listen as long as you want to, or as short as you want to. Okay, I will list this down below. Rumi Oracle. Love it. I'm not disappointed. I'm never disappointed whatever card deck they ask me to use. All right, so I'll just say the prayer even though I've said it, but I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides and guardians, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect this channel so it's only of the light. Amen. All right, so just going to give it a little bit of a shuffle. So what do you want us to know today besides protect ourselves? Ready? What did they say? Ready, protect yourself. Protect yourself. What do you want us to know besides that, or even related to that? Is there anything else you want us to know? What message do you have for us today from Rumi, the Rumi Oracle? Alana Fairchild, thank you for bringing this deck to life. I mean, talk about someone who's had to have channeled Rumi, philosopher. 1800s, I think. Okay, I'm just going to check and see if that's the one they wanted. Any other messages for today, you guys? This deck, it's a little big for my hands. That's the only problem. People, they've got to make them just slightly smaller. I have a sense that more women probably use Oracle. I could be wrong. And we have smaller hands, so we got to stop making these decks so big. All right, there's another one. Let me just see if there's one more, and then I'll ask the SGs. That one I love. I just feel like I just want to pull her out because look at that one. Oh, the image. Okay, I'm going to leave that one out. I feel like, all right, that one just the image caught my eye. I've never done that before. Okay, is one of the cards in front of me the message you want the village, the community to have today? I know, you probably think of the village people when I say village, right? Whatever. Okay, yes. Again, we got to stop letting people take things from us, Are you ever going to be able to listen to YMCA again at a wedding? Are they even going to play them anymore? I mean, we got to stop. The American flag has been stolen from because they made it represent something that I'm uncomfortable with. And so at some point, I know people like the other day, someone had offered this prayer in in the community here. And so I put, and I loved it. It was, oh shoot, what was it? It was about something to go with the, flow. Oh, flood the zone. Well, I had no idea that Steve Bannon uses that, but you know what? We need to take back things that they have made, I guess flood the zone, because the point was flood the zone with love, right? So you can use it. I think it's how it's used, but I don't know. It's challenging, isn't it? Okay, so which card? 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3. So they did say that, yes, the card is in front. Do you want the first card to be the message for today? No. The second card? Oh, of course, it's the one that okay, the third card? Yes, okay. No doubt it caught my attention. All right. Gosh, it's so pretty. It's so much prettier, like these. They probably wanted us to have a sort of, look at how much darker these were compared to this one. Oh my gosh. Just beautiful. Okay, this is a great way to end the conversation and have this in your mind. You can even take a picture of this. I'll get my schmug out of the way so that you can have that in your mind today. So the message is number 15, which reduces down to 6. Divine Mother manifests. We have been talking about the divine feminine. A lot of people are talking about the divine feminine in the Golden Future, the book we're reading for book club in the Spirit Circle. The divine feminine is rising right now to balance the divine masculine. The masculine is divine as well. It's just that the divine masculine has been on earth unbalanced with the divine feminine for 260,000 years. So the divine feminine now is rising, and there's no choice. There is no choice to this to happen. This is the next 20,000 years. I think it's 20,000 will be the rise of the divine feminine to balance that. And that's probably why I'm pretty sure there's so much of the divine feminine that sort of got way out of balance is not liking this very much. Not liking this. So Divine Mother manifests. What a great reminder to us. Okay, let's see what Rumi says about that. All right, 15. That excites me so much. And I love the fact that I saw the image and pulled it. I've never done that before. I usually let them pop out, So that's kind of cool. Okay. There's a lot. So actually I'm going to pause and decide what I'm going to read, because this booklet it's big. Okay, so I obviously have to read Rumi's quote. Okay, so this is what he said. "Oh, you living in the world of 6 directions, accept the gloom and accept the bliss, for those seeds buried in the ground will one day grow into fruitful orchards." Very cool. So then I'll just read the first part of this booklet. "We share her, this divine mother, you and I. We are her precious children. We are born through her love, and she shares in our losses and our gains, our tragedies and our triumphs. Her hair forms the galaxies. Her thoughts become the stars." Wow. "The sun is her own warmth, and her breath is felt upon this earth, causing the roar of the ocean waves. Her voice is heard in the call of the whales and the thrill of the birds, the trill of the birds. She is all, nurturing life into existence. She is in my reaching for you, and she is in your acceptance of my divine hand. She is all, this great lady. Nothing lies outside of her sphere of influence and power, compassion and grace. That includes you and your dreams, great and small, my angel of love." Aw. That's amazing. So get out there and manifest. Manifest. Let's help rise the feminine, all of us, men, women. Okay, we all need to help the rise of the feminine, so that we have balance, more balance. It's going to be amazing when we get there. All right, you guys, have an awesome day. We'll see you tonight. I'll be doing something. I'm going to ask the SGs. We're going to do some kind of reading with the oracles tonight. So, all right, have a good one. Bye-bye.